Welcome everyone, thanks for coming, and welcome to our viewers who are further afield. First time on a webcam is quite daunting. There's a big scope looking straight at me. Anyway, so welcome. I have the pleasure of taking you through the most exciting part of today's AGM, of course, the financials. I'm sure you're all itching with questions, and so please hold your questions to the end. Without progressing further, I think it really is important to acknowledge the team that's been behind me for many years at ATSA, and certainly in my latest tenure as Treasurer, it's been just fantastic participating in that with the current board, who are all very active and enthusiastic and put in a hell of a lot of time, of their own time and effort into ATSA. So thank you to the board. Thank you to David, who I am very pleased to have brought into ATSA and is doing a sterling job. Thank you to Wendy and Chris Sparks, of course, who through their tireless personal efforts have supported the organisation right from its inception. So thank you to all of those people. So today I've got two jobs actually. One, to present the financials, and two, to make a move or pass a resolution to start the search for some new auditors. So I might kick off with that and just pass a resolution, or I might move to to authorise the board to search for some new auditors. We've had some disruptions with our auditors this year, moving towards a registered company and achieving our charity status has actually been quite disruptive, and we're not that happy with how our current auditors and accountants have handled that process. So without further ado, I might seek for someone to move that we start the search for some new accountants and auditors. Thank you, Ian. Okay, thanks, Chris. Okay, Kerry, you got that noted? Excellent. Okay, so on to the financials. Now, Kerry, can I just check, have you got a screen for the financials at all? No? Okay, excellent. This will be even more fun. So, I'll go to my notes. So net profit was up against budget this year. So net profit was $42,000 against a budgeted pre-tax profit of $13,000. So whilst $42,000 is significantly below last year, there are some very good explanations for that. So last year, the primary driver of the profit was the triple counting of expo income in the prior year results. So we had Melbourne, Perth, and Sydney all being booked in the prior year accounts, which drove profit significantly. So we knew that would impact this year. So in addition to that, we had some budgeted expenses for this year. Those being, one, the employment of our new membership officer, but before that we actually had a casual assistant on board assisting David, so that drove some employment costs up. We engaged a consultant to assist us with our strategic review, and that cost us $10,000, which wasn't fully budgeted. We took up an accelerated write-down of our depreciation of our website costs, which drove $23,000 of unbudgeted expense. And in addition to that, we recognised some early costs associated with the Canberra Expo. So the Canberra Expo was in August, but we had some costs leading into that which were booked in the previous financial year. It turns out that the Canberra Expo, from an income perspective, has turned into a fantastic result. We have budgeted $7,000 to $8,000, and it's actually come in at $30,000 of net profit for us, which is a fantastic result setting up the new year. So well done to David for driving a profitable result there. Jeff's already touched on membership subs. So our membership was up, which of course led to improved membership subs to the tune of $17,000. I think we ought to thank Scooters and Mobility, who brought on a fair few of those new smaller members this year. So a growth of 24 members is a fantastic outcome for the year. Our expo income was down this year comparative to last year. I think I've explained that. But actually we were up on our budgeted expo revenue. So we budgeted $120,000, but we came in at $158,000. So it's actually a great result for us. So well done there again, David. That, of course, led to higher than expected or higher than budgeted expo expenses, which is directly related to the revenue there. So no surprises. Depreciation I've touched on. Employees I've touched on. From an admin perspective, I've touched on the consultant that we engaged, but we also had some legal and accounting fees associated with our move to a charity status and a PTY Limited. So I think overall a really strong result. I've just encouraged the board to watch those expenses going into the next few years. We have some really ambitious plans ahead, but of course it's important that the organisation remains strong. It's not always guaranteed that the competitive landscape will remain the same. Certainly we've seen the OSS Expo come on board and I think be well received, and that represents a threat to the income stream of ATSA. I think the market is big enough and there's enough growth in the market to support both expos, but we shouldn't ignore the threat to a major income stream for us, and I'd encourage the board to remain wary of that. Anyway, thanks for that. Anyone have any questions about the financials this year? Sluts? Nothing?
All good.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, everyone.